What's up, my friends? You're very welcome along to tonight's video. You've probably seen the title of it and thought, I'm going to go and have a pop at this guy because that's quite frankly ridiculous. And you know what? You're absolutely right. Problem is, though, it isn't my statement, and I'm going to let you know exactly where it came from. Before I do, I would love to know your thoughts on the video in the comment section once you've watched it. Do drop a like and, of course, hit that subscribe button. As you can see, we're closing in on 150,000 subscribers. We really appreciate your continued support, and every single new family member is more than welcome. Right, look. Let me start off by saying it isn't my statement. Yes, you looked at the title of this video and you were quite rightly horrified, probably annoyed, angered, I don't know, all the emotions that you've probably felt when you've seen this video. You're right to feel them, but it isn't my statement. A Spanish newspaper called El Pais have come out and said that Darwin Nunez is the biggest mistake of Jurgen Klopp's career, with Liverpool officials admitting that the record fee was a blunder considering his record in games and in training. Now, he has played 4-5 games for Liverpool Football Club since he's come in. He's trained for a while, yes. But does anybody really think that Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool didn't know exactly the type of player that they were bringing into the football club? This article, for me, is absolute nonsense of the highest order. And quite frankly, I think it's disgusting. It's another attempt to undermine Liverpool and undermine Liverpool's business. And this guy is a youngster who has come once again from another country over to England and is only settling in. And let alone the fact that he has been brought in to compete, of course, with Erling Haaland, who has gone to Manchester City. Look, we know he isn't Erling Haaland. We're well aware of that. But the potential is there and it is unquestionable. Have Liverpool perhaps overpaid for Darwin's services? Perhaps. But that's the case sometimes when you really want one particular player and you want to go after them. You got to pay what it takes, and the club paid what it took. So to say that Darwin Nunez is the biggest mistake of Jurgen Klopp's career, I think is quite frankly disgusting. Of a reputable newspaper to come out with that type of nonsense, I think it's sickening. How can anybody judge Darwin Nunez based on what we've seen so far? Judge him consistently, judge him overall. Yes, you can say he hasn't started off well, or yes, you can have whatever opinion you want of the minutes that he's played. But I want to know, who told them that Jurgen Klopp and the scouts or Jurgen Klopp and the coaches aren't happy with what they're seeing on the training ground? Who told them that Jurgen Klopp and the coaches feel like it's a huge mistake, let alone the biggest mistake of Jurgen Klopp's career? I don't understand how media is getting away with this type of stuff. If it was a fan channel, we'd be rightly ridiculed for it, but we wouldn't be stupid enough to come out with a statement like that. Darwin Nunez will be absolutely fine at Liverpool Football Club. Jurgen Klopp spoke about exactly the attributes he was bringing in when we signed Darwin and exactly what he wanted to bring Darwin in for. He knows he has a tall forward who is physical. He knows he's a pain in the ass in the opposition penalty area. He knows he can be a hold-up man, but he also knows that he runs the channels, which hopefully should open up space for the likes of Mohamed Salah and Diaz to cut inside if Darwin is linking up play. Look, ultimately, I don't care if we signed Darwin Nunez or if we brought in any other football player. To not give somebody minimum 6 months to bed into a new country, to a new system, to a new culture, to a new manager, to new teammates, it's embarrassing for any pundits or journalists out there that are actually putting effort into what they're doing and not just creating sensationalist headlines. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but for me, I don't know how you can write Darwin Nunez off already. I've been very happy with what I've seen from Darwin. Yes, you would be unhappy with the red card, of course, but we knew we were bringing in a Uruguayan with a steely attitude, and that was one of the attributes that we liked about him. He needs to control that temperament, no issues there. But ultimately, I think he'll come good at the football club, and I think we'll look back at this in a few years' time and think, yes, it was a right gamble, paid off, happy days. To go as far as they have, I don't understand what the aim of it is. What's the objective of it? To undermine Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp at a time when we're already struggling a little bit? Perhaps. Taking cheap shots at us? Perhaps. But ultimately, I back this boy to turn it around. I back this boy to be a success at Liverpool Football Club. And if there's one thing I would question about Jurgen Klopp, it certainly isn't his transfer targets, because those that he've brought in have on the whole been a huge success. Yes, like any manager, there will be some signings that haven't quite worked out. I'm thinking of Loris Karius, Naby Keita, maybe Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and there's probably one or two more. But ultimately, Liverpool have been lauded for the great transfer business, and Darwin Nunez will be another one. But keep them coming. Keep these articles coming, because if there's one thing we can say about Darwin Nunez is he will use this as fire. We know this. He knows when he's been written off. He knows when he's been complained about online. He knows when people are taking cheap shots. We've seen it before with his resilience tweet. Darwin Nunez will be absolutely fine. And you know what? I guarantee you, this Spanish newspaper, I guarantee you that there were clubs over in Spain that were queuing up for him. Look what he did when he was in Spain. He was over there for a brief period, done quite well. I don't understand the goal of this. I don't understand how an editor has okayed this, let alone where they're getting their source from. Because I really would love to know who apparently leaked this information to them. Because I guarantee you it was nobody inside Liverpool Football Club. I always am dubious about Spanish newspapers and the reports. They're always very PR friendly towards their own clubs, and that's understandable until it isn't, until it goes too far. And I believe on this occasion they've gone a little bit too far in what they've said. To undermine Jurgen Klopp in that way is ridiculous, let alone a young player who was just vying his trade, who has also played in their country and done relatively well. So for me, it's disgusting. I don't believe a word of it. I don't believe that Jurgen Klopp thinks that way. And I'm hoping that when I read through the comment section later on, that you guys back me up on this, that you guys are a bit more understanding. Look, has it been absolutely all champagne and Skittles? No. Has it been an absolute unmitigated disaster? No. But he's only just come into the club. Like, we see this so many times with players, whether you want to talk about Liverpool players or players of other clubs. Sometimes players come in like Diaz and hit ground running. Sometimes they take a little bit more time. But for the good of the game, let's not start writing players off at this young age in a new league with a huge transfer fee on top of his shoulders. He needs support. He doesn't need to be ridiculed in the media. That's my take on it, my friends. As always, I just want to remind you guys that the games have been cancelled this weekend, actually. I'm sure you know that. Obviously, with the passing of the Queen, and our condolences to everybody in the UK. As a mark of respect, all football, Scotland, England, have been cancelled over the weekend. We await news on the Champions League games because, quite frankly, we don't know what's happening yet, at least as I record this, which is just after 8 p.m. on Friday. We don't know what's going on. There has been some talk of maybe them being moved over to Ireland and stuff. I don't know. But ultimately, I think my gut feeling says we probably will get the Champions League games next week. Where, I don't know. But I feel the calendar is already so congested that to try and squeeze in maybe 2 league games if next weekend's games get cancelled, for us, that would be against Chelsea. And the Champions League games, I don't know where they're going to find it. You know, they've got a really busy schedule with the World Cup coming up in November. We've already started the season a bit early. We'll already be ending it a bit later. And now we've got at least, 2 league games, maybe 3 if you include the Champions League to potentially reschedule. So look, if you hear anything before I do, as always, love to know it in the comment section. Do let us know. But we are where we are. And hopefully Jurgen Klopp and the lads will use this time to work on a few things, maybe to reinvent themselves like Klopp has said. I don't know, but we need to be better when we come back from this, and hopefully that starts with a game against Ajax coming up next week. Fingers crossed. We'll let you know as soon as we do. Thank you for your time as always, my friends. Have yourselves a cracking weekend, and I will see you hopefully over on Twitch over the weekend for a live stream, and if not, I will see you back here at some stage very soon. Thank you for your support. Bye bye.